Well, Bungie was back this week with another Lightfall-focused blog post, this time talking about some economy improvements and loot focusing coming to Destiny 2 in Lightfall. It looks like it's going to address some major fear of missing out issues and providing access to legacy weapons and armor. Well, today I'm going to have a look at the future of Umbral Engrams. We've got Ada 1 changes, weapon focusing, plus the news we've all been waiting for, and that is the Trials Exile Armor is coming back. Well, if you're new around here or find this useful, don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below for all the latest Destiny 2 content and turn on notifications by hitting that bell, and roughly 95% of viewers who watch This Week in Video Games aren't subscribed. So subscribe today and never miss an update. Well, Bungie go on to say, Destiny 2 has been an evolving experience since day one. Compare the game at launch with how it is now and many might not believe that you're talking about the same game. Now, live service is funny like that, but it also means more room to play for our developers to create thriving worlds and more creative ways for the community they can inspire what is next. Last week, we talked about the extensive changes coming to the evolution of build crafting. Today, we are diving deeper into how our in-game economy is changing, so more into legacy focusing that's been talked about briefly, giving a heads up to players about what's arriving and also leaving, and giving heads up to players about what's arriving and what is leaving the loot pool. Okay, first of all, we've got Umbral Engrams, so starting in Season 20, that is next season, in only a few weeks' time, Umbral Engrams will no longer drop in Destiny 2, but don't worry, seasonal content will transition to using seasonal engrams, and any Umbral Engram that the player may still have in their inventory after Season 20 begins will be decryptable by Rahul. Okay, next up, more big changes, and this time to Ada 1. Ada 1 is also selling Destiny 2 shaders that have been unavailable for quite some time, and Ada 1 has wares if you have 10,000 Glimmer, but keep in mind she's only going to be offering 3 shaders per week during Season 20. So you can see a full list of the shaders that are going to be available in Season 20. You can check that out on Bungie.net. Well, next up we've got Vanguard and Nightfall focusing, so starting in Season 20, Commander Zavala will offer the ability for players to focus Vanguard weapons and armor. Vanguard will be the final of the core rituals to get the comprehensive engram focusing options. Okay, so first of all, we've got the Vanguard engrams themselves. So Vanguard engrams will be a virtual currency and will live exclusively on the rank progress bar of Commander Zavala. And Vanguard engrams may be opened individually by players directed on Zavala. So you can focus Vanguard engrams directly into either Vanguard armor or Vanguard weapons. Vanguard engrams do not need to be claimed in order to be spent on focusing, and individual pieces of gear must have been acquired at least once prior to being available for focusing. So we've got the Vanguard armor available for focusing in Season 20, so we've got the Photo Suede set, and please note the class item is not focusable as class items do not have base stats. And here's the Vanguard weapons available for focusing in Season 20, so we've got the Xena Class 4, the third Axiom, the Royal Entry Empty Vessel Punching Out, Fortissimo 11, Strident Whistle, that one is a fan favourite. We've got Pure Poetry and also Prolonged Engagement. So brand new Vanguard weapons are going to drop only for a single season, and then they're going to be available for focusing the following season. So Zavala's focusing options will expand further during the following seasons. Okay, next up, this is the exciting one. We've got Nightfall weapon focusing. So Zavala will also offer Nightfall weapon focusing, and Nightfall weapons must have been acquired from Nightfall Strikes at least once before being available for focusing. So here's the Nightfall weapon focusing cost. So 1 Vanguard engram, 20,000 Glimmer and 50 legendary shards. So they are quite expensive. And the Nightfall weapons available for focusing in Season 20. So we've got the Malicious Birthright, the Mindbender's Ambition, the Wendigo GL3, Hung Jury SR4, the Swarm, that is a returning one, and also we've got Buzzard too, that is also a returning sidearm. And that is a former ritual weapon, so that is really, really good to get that one back. So we've got Adept Nightfall Ciphers, so when completing Grandmaster Nightfalls, in addition to previously existing rewards, players will also acquire Adept Nightfall Ciphers. The number of ciphers that a player earns depends on whether a player qualifies for Platinum, Gold or Silver rewards at the end of the Nightfall. The number of ciphers awarded per GM Nightfall completion score, so Platinum is 2, Gold is 1, Silver, well that is 0. And then for a deeper breakdown, so a Nightfall weapon is going to cost 1 Vanguard engram, 20,000 Glimmer, 25 legendary shards, and 0 Adept Nightfall ciphers. And then for an Adept Nightfall weapon, You've got 3 Vanguard Engrams, 50,000 Glimmer, 50 Legendary Shards, and 10 Adept Nightfall Ciphers. So those Nightfall weapons are going to be really, really expensive, especially those Adept ones, but it looks really good. Next up, we have focusing costs, so Adept Nightfall Focusing. Zavala will offer a single Adept Nightfall weapon for focusing each week, matching the Nightfall weapon currently in rotation. Adept Nightfall weapons will be available for focusing in Season 20. So we got all of these are Adept, the Malicious Birthright, Mindbender's Ambition, Wendigo GL3, Hung Jury SR4, the Swarm, and also the Buzzard as well. Well, next up, we've got Legacy Gear Focusing. So Vanguard and Nightfall Focusing isn't the only big update that the Focusing will get. In fact, every ritual will see growth in the number of items available for Focusing as we introduce Legacy Gear Focusing. This system will allow players to obtain many pieces of gear from the last several years of Destiny 2, many of which have not been accessible for quite some time. Okay, first of all, in the Crucible, armor sets available for Legacy Focusing include the Sword Fight 4.1, the Phoenix Strife Type 0, Ankar Seeker 4, Wing Contender, Wing Discipline, Wing Theorem, and also Cinder Pinion. And we got the armor focusing cost, so if a player has not acquired a piece of armor previously, that's 3 Crucible Engrams, 50 Legendary Shards, and 10,000 Glimmers. That is quite expensive. If a player has acquired a piece of armor previously, you got 1 Crucible Engram, 25 Legendary Shards, and 5,000 Glimmer. Well, next up, we got Vanguard. So Nightfall weapons available for Legacy Focusing include the Plug 1, Uzume RR4, the Hothead, the Comedian, Duty Bound, Silicon Neuroma, DFA, and the Horror's Lease. There's loads of fan favourite weapons in there. Definitely really looking forward to getting a God Roll version of Plug 1. So let me know in the comments what you're looking forward to coming back. Note, Adept versions of Legacy weapons will not be available for Focusing, so that is an interesting point. And Nightfall weapon focusing costs are, if a player has not acquired the weapon previously, 7 Vanguard Engrams, 100 Legendary Shards, very expensive, and 10,000 Glimmer. If a player has acquired the weapon previously, 3 Vanguard Engrams, 25 Legendary Shards, and 25,000 Glimmer. Well, Vanguard armor sets available for Legacy Focusing include the Took Offense, the Shelter in Place, Zinus Veil 4, Phobos Warden, and the Vigil of Heroes. Then we've got the Vanguard armor focusing cost, so if a player has not acquired a piece of armor previously, 3 Vanguard Engrams, 50 Legendary Shards, and 10,000 Glimmer. If a player has acquired a piece of armor previously, 1 Vanguard Engram, 25 Legendary Shards, and 5,000 Glimmer. Next up, we've got Gambit. So Gambit armor sets are available for Legacy Focusing as well. So we've got the Calamity Rig and the Ancient Apocalypse. And the Gambit armor focusing cost are, so if a player has not acquired a piece of armor previously, 3 Gambit Engrams, 50 Legendary Shards, 10,000 Glimmer. And if a player has acquired a piece of armor previously, 1 Gambit Engram, 25 Legendary Shards, and 5,000 Glimmer. Iron Banner also getting in on the act as well. So Iron Banner weapons available for Legacy Focusing include Archon's Thunder, Reese Walker, Occluded Finality, Forge's Pledge, Peace Bond, and the Frontier's Cry. And the Iron Banner armor sets available for Legacy Focusing include the Iron Forerunner, Iron Will, Iron Trorge, Iron Fellowship, Iron Remembrance. So that's really, really good news. Loads of Iron Banner sets are going to be available in the game. Loads of really good stuff there that people have been calling out for ages. Iron Banner gear focusing costs. So if a player has not acquired a piece of Iron Banner gear previously, 7 Iron Engrams, 100 Legendary Shards, and 10,000 Glimmer. So if a player has acquired a piece of Iron Banner gear previously, 3 Iron Engrams, 25 Legendary Shards, 25,000 Glimmer. Next up, Trials of Osiris. So here is where the exciting news is. So Trials of Osiris weapons available for Legacy Focusing include Shayura's Wrath, brilliant. Reed's Regret, also great. Aisha's Embrace, very good. Burden of Guilt, and also Forgiveness. And note the Adept versions of Legacy weapons will not be available for Focusing. And Trials of Osiris armor sets available for Legacy Focusing include the Pyrrhic Ascent armor and the Exile armor. So that's really, really exciting stuff. So if a player has not acquired a piece of Trials of Osiris gear previously, it's 7 Trials Engrams, 100 Legendary Shards, and 10,000 Glimmer. And if a player has acquired that gear before, 3 Trials Engrams, 25 Legendary Shards, 25,000 Glimmer. Items like shaders, emblems, ghost projections, and other cosmetics players could previously earn in the game will be added to match the rewards. That means players who missed out on cosmetic rewards in the past have a chance of receiving rewards like the Red Jack projection at the end of a match. As of Season 20, we're going to see these legacy match rewards implemented for Crucible, Vanguard, Gambit and Iron Banner, and details for legacy match rewards for Trials of Osiris will come down the road. Well, next up, we got lower focusing costs, so we reduce the cost of focusing across the board when focusing items that are currently in the ritual loot pool. That is available right now. So Crucible, Gambit, Vanguard focusing will see the following costs: 1 Ritual Engram, Crucible, Gambit or Vanguard, depending on the vendor, 5,000 Glimmer and 25 Legendary Shards. Trials of Osiris, Iron Banner and Nightfall focusing will see the following cost: 1 Ritual Engram, Trials of Osiris, Iron Banner or Vanguard. Again, depending on the vendor, 20,000 Glimmer and 50 Legendary Shards. Adept Weapon focusing for Trials of Osiris and Nightfall weapons will see the following cost: 1 Ritual Engram, Trials or Vanguard, depending on the vendor, 50,000 Glimmer, 50 Legendary Shards, 7 Win Trials ticket, or 10 Adept Nightfall ciphers. Wow, that is an absolutely huge cost. So there's the usual shake-up with the loot pool coming in Season 20, so here is what you need to know about what's on the way, and also what is on the way out for loot to earn in Trials, Iron Banner and Nightfall Strikes. So with Trials weapons leaving in Season 19, as Forgiveness, the Sidearm and the Burden of Guilt, that's the Fusion Rifle, and Trials of Osiris weapons being added, so the Astral Horizon, that one is coming back, and we've got a new SMG called the Immortal, so that is really, really exciting stuff. Iron Banner weapons are going to be leaving in Season 19, Razor's Edge, that's the sword, and Frontier's Cry, that is the hand cannon. Then Iron Banner weapons being added, Yorum's Claw, that's a pulse rifle, and Bite of the Fox, that is of course a classic sniper. And Nightfall weapons leaving in Season 19, we've got the Horror's Least, pulse rifle, and the DFA, that's a hand cannon. Nightfall weapons being added, well, we know this already, we've got the Buzzard, that is a sidearm, and the Swarm, that one is a returning machine gun. Well, let me know down in the comments what you think about the Trials Exile Armor coming back, also the economy and the loot focusing options as well. Let me know your thoughts on the latest blog post from Bungie. But as always, thank you so much for watching, and for more Destiny 2 content like this, hit that subscribe button down below and subscribe to This Week in Video Games. Or you can check me out on Twitter at TWIVG Podcast. If you enjoyed this video, found it useful, liking and sharing the video would really help me out. Otherwise, check out the videos on the channel. Thanks again, and I'll see you soon.